Hello YouTube, how are you doing? Kuya Toby here once again, and to be honest, I'm really sorry that it's only now that I'm able to do videos again because I've been quite busy for the past 2 years doing stuff. Unfortunately, COVID happened and now I have lots of time again. So for this new series of videos that I'm gonna do, since you guys seem to like the Blade review videos a lot, so I'll try to make more of them. Unfortunately, I don't really have new stuff right now coming in because to be honest, I don't have any interest in buying new blades. I have, however, made an asked to make a new custom, but it's still in the process of being built, so that may take some time. However, I'll do make videos about some of the practical blades, knives specifically that I have, and hope you like them. I'll also make a new series coming out soon, which will be focused more on edge weapons and knives, particularly because this is what we can practice at home even if we don't have a partner, especially for people who live in condominiums and other tight areas where they don't really have enough time to swing. So I'll make a video on that as well, and I'll try to upload as much as I can. But for this video, since we're going to the topic of knife training, I guess it would be apt to start with what type of tools or what type of trainer you need. Okay, there are basically three types of trainers that you can use for knife training. One, of course, is the one made of wood. Okay. Another is made of steel. And then finally, you have those made of rubber or polymer or any other new plastic out there that can be used. There are lots of them out there right now, especially the ones that glow or produce a light and sound when they do impact, much like a toy, but it's not really a toy, it's really meant for training. Unfortunately, I don't have that right now. One of my students does, but I don't have access to it, and maybe I'll borrow his and then make a video of that later on. So what are the pros and cons of these training tools? Well, let's start off with the easiest one to get, which is the wooden one. The wooden one, of course, it's it's basically just a short stick. Fashioned to look like a knife, or the better looking ones are made of heavier, harder wood, which is kamagong. This is good because, as I said, it's easier to get, and to be honest, it lasts a long time. This was my first knife when I was starting training about 15 years ago, and this one has lasted me for more than 10 years. The good thing about these types of knives is because since they're very dense, they can do contact well. Like if you're doing espada idaga and you're hitting or blocking the stick, this can take it. Okay. Another thing is that it has a significant amount of weight, which is very important since knives aren't actually that heavy. However, problem with this type of trainer is that, of course, since it's kamagong, it does have a tendency to shatter at times, especially after a lot of impact, meaning normally from falling, especially if you're doing disarms or training with disarms. So that's one downside. However, lighter wood like this tends to last longer. The only thing is that it's lighter. So some pros and cons in there. The second, of course, would be the metal ones. Now, the metal ones are a bit more expensive because it's made of metal, of course. I would prefer those made with aircraft aluminum because it's more durable and it doesn't chafe after a blade-to-blade contact with other trainers that are also made of metal. Because if it's the weaker type of aluminum, you'd see they would chafe off here. And if you're doing this blade to blade with for example, a sword, it has the tendency to bite. I mean, mine has, I don't know if it can be seen, tons of scratches and nicks, but it's not abrasive to the skin or the touch. So The good thing with this is just like the wooden trainer, this can take a shot. Okay, and to be honest, I like training with this because it simulates a true knife which is made out of metal. Intrinsically, if you see a piece of metal being running fast toward you in a stab or a slash motion, you tend to react quicker because that sense of dread is amplified through this training tool. So it doesn't get any more real than that, to put it simply, which is why I also had this made. Okay, it's a trainer. It's also made of aircraft aluminum, but I fashioned it into I had it fashioned into a kitchen knife, which is the most common knife you would actually defend against if you are in a street survival situation. The downside to this is, of course, the cost. This is more expensive than, say, this. Like, you could buy around 2 or 3 of these with this single piece of trainer. However, this really lasts a long time, and I can't even see how you're gonna be able to wreck this, to be honest. So if you can get a trainer, get a metal trainer, get one. You'll need it eventually. The good thing about this also is that if you're practicing these arms, no matter how many times this drops, it's fine. It's fine. It doesn't matter. Then, of course, lastly, we go to the polymer trainer or the rubberized trainer. This is a cold steel tanto training knife. I've had this for more than 10 years as well. This is my first trainer. It has so many hit marks already. The good thing about this is that it's long. It's not that expensive. And this is our go-to when we do sparring, because even when you get hit hard, I mean, it hurts, especially if there's intent and power into it, but it doesn't hurt as much as being hit by a piece of metal or a piece of wood. It also has give. It has the ability to flex and bend. However, that is also its drawback, because if you get hit and do espada e daga techniques, this will bend against a stick, and most of the time you can't pull out the what do you call this? The specific techniques needed to do it. It would be off, your timing would be off. So that's why this is not good for espada e daga. It's also not good for disarms, because the ability to sway and stretch is too much. Normally, for example, I do a disarm, I'd get a disarm from here. But with this, if the person has a strong grip, see, the disarm isn't there. So that's why with disarms, I prefer training with steel or wood, because from here, if I do this, the hand is already opening. Whereas with this, the material goes with the force and it's harder. You can do disarms with it, but sometimes it goes to a point where it's not realistic anymore. So for beginners, what do I recommend? One is get what's available. In terms of availability, this can be bought online or through shops. Costs like 400 to 600 pesos. It's cheaper if you buy this abroad. Something like less than $10. I mean, less than $5 if it's on sale. And it's readily available. With metal ones, there are specific groups out there who make these, but these are normally made to order, so you're gonna have a hard time finding those, and in this case have them shipped. But again, it's good to have. The wooden ones, before, about 10 years ago, most hobby shops had these. Unfortunately, not a lot of them carry these anymore. And specialty shops and specialty or niche shops carry the kamagong variant, which is also a bit rare. So I guess your best bet would really go with the polymer ones, since this is more easily produced, and to be honest, you can have a variety of shapes, sizes, and weights. Okay, again, as I said, the drawback is that it's not heavy enough. Well, I think that's long enough. That's it for today, and stay tuned for my other videos coming up soon. If you like the content, please hit the thumbs up button or comment below what else you want me to talk about or review about, and please consider subscribing. It helps generate more content for this channel. Thank you very much. Mabuhay.